Well, hello and welcome to the Uncalled For. We have a great show for you tonight. We're going to be covering a few little things that might sort of overlap in some of the issues that we're going to be talking about tonight, but I think it's a good show and I think we have some good things and finally I have my internet fixed and well enough so that we can cover Andrew Tate tonight as well as the AI generated revenge porn. I've been following this as well as Claire has been, so I think we are going to have a very good show with this tonight. I think we're going to have a very good discussion about it. So I'm really looking forward to this, and I think it's going to be a good evening. And we have a whole bunch of great people with us who are going to bring interesting perspectives as well. We've got, of course, our producer Dick Dawson, my co-host Claire Bear. We've got Mipet, we've got DKG Custom, we've got Commander 401. So I think we're going to have a wonderful conversation tonight, and I'm so glad that you all are here with me tonight. So hello, everybody. I'm glad to see you. This is going to be great.
It'll be a bit of fun. Yes.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think this is going to be great. So welcome, everybody, and welcome everybody in the chat as well. I hope you enjoy the show tonight. I think we're going to have a great conversation, and I'm always thrilled when there's interaction in the chat as well. So this will be fun. Yeah.
Indeed.
So we've
the look into AI stuff is going to be very interesting because there's so many angles this is going to affect life. I mean, sure, we've picked an intense one, but it's one that's going to really have massive consequences. So
it absolutely is. And with technology and apps evolving so quickly and becoming so strong so quickly, I think it's going to be quite interesting. And I've been looking into that as well. And I've seen a few BBC links, and the impacts that it has are quite significant as well. And we'll be talking about that. And I think it's going to be a really interesting topic. So I'm excited about it.
Yeah. And then, ripping into the human asshole that is Andrew Tate. Well, that's got to be fun, right?
Oh, I've been waiting and I've been waiting to talk about this jerk. So, so I'm hoping that we have plenty of time in the second half that we can talk about him and what's going on there. And some of that could get serious because there have been some very serious allegations against him.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And some really, really bad things. So it'll be interesting. But I think one of the most delicious things is the list of his assets that got seized.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I do enjoy this way too much, and I'm very sorry about that. But sometimes there are just some personalities that, karma comes and pats them on the butt instead. And I think this is going to be one of those cases. So, yeah. So what's everybody's thoughts on tonight?
I was going to say no patting. It's going to be biting in the ass rather than patting on the butt.
Yeah, this one's got a lot of edges for sure. Definitely.
Absolutely. Or it could be just as good as a palace's cat, just going up and biting him right on the butt.
Oh, nothing's as good as that. Nothing's as good as that.
Absolutely.
Find that.
Exactly. So I think that's going to be very good.
So which do you want to start with tonight, Aimee? I mean, they're both so big. I don't know.
They are. I'm thinking probably the AI first because it is important and so serious. And then I think we can go into Andrew Tate second. What do you think? Would that be okay?
It's kind of like, that's fine with me. It's kind of like the cherry on top for you, isn't it?
So
I'm all for it.
Thank you. I just want to savor that one.
Yeah, just savor it. Just you've been waiting longer. You've been waiting. Just a little bit longer, we'll be okay. Yeah.
Thank you. Exactly. Just it's that way I can that's the cherry on top of everything tonight. So,
So welcome to the 4-hour Uncalled For edition.
4 days. If we're talking Tate, that could be like 4 days. 4 days. Yeah. Hope you brought your sleeping bags and enough supplies. Yes.
Yes. And I got to make sure that I have something for my throat, like some good stuff so that I can make it the 4 days. So I don't lose my voice just going, bah! So, Exactly.
I couldn't decide. I got quite the selection here. I don't know. I got honey, tea, coffee, and red wine. So it depends on the subject, I guess.
Exactly.
Beer.
Honey is nice and soothing.
I will have libations.
There we go. There we go. At
Beer.
some point, I will have to make me more. So yeah. So should we start out with that first Medium article that you had, Claire? That one,
Sure.
the 3 types of artificial intelligence in human relationships.
Okay.
Do you want to start out with that?
Do you
that's
want to read?
That's
Yeah.
top one in the list. So
Perfect.
Okay.
Perfect. That would be good.
Got that out. You want to read or you want me to read, love?
You can go ahead if you want.
I'll just read a little bit and then I'm going to turn it over to you.
Okay.
We'll save both our voices. I think there's quite a few articles on these today. So
I think so.
Artificial intelligence in human relationships, expanding on the art piece, I Can Complete You. What a hook. Technology is advancing faster than we realize, sometimes quicker than we have time to keep up, and often created before there was a chance to debate its ethical and social ramifications. My art series, Art About AI, attempts to use art as a medium to raise awareness about advances in artificial intelligence in efforts to advance public thinking and debate on technologies that are changing our human experience from birth to death. And then it shows these little cute robot-y pictures that they do with the little pieces of diamond stuff there. That's diamond art, right? Yeah. So the piece I Can Complete You explores the relationships humans are having and will have with artificial intelligence. It features friendly, boxy-shaped robots that is reminiscent of the retro-futuristic robots shared in our collective imagination. The robot is composed of hundreds of square mirror rhinestones and heart-shaped rhinestones shaped in a heart to represent its heart. It has a talk bubble where the robot tells the viewer, I can complete you. The letters formed with the heart-shaped red rhinestones. The text forcing the viewer to grapple with the proposal that a machine, one with artificial intelligence, could possibly complete an individual with another, the way another human would. The red heart suggests that the relationship could also be romantic in nature. Above the head of the robot is a halo made of champagne-colored, thin-tipped, oval-shaped rhinestones. The halo invites the viewer to accept or reject the notion that technology is value neutral. The mixed media of white-textured paint, varied rhinestone shapes, and colors are meant to pull the viewer into the details with each return to the painting to discover more visual layers. The 3D printed frame continues the thought, with the innermost frame juxtaposing human organs, hearts, and digital heart shapes converging outwards through circuit lines that take organic curved forms as if they were vines. This is meant to show the emerging fluidity between humans and digital environments and technology. The next frame layers are cubes that visually complement the robot squares, but also allude to the data building blocks that are currently being laid out to create artificial intelligence as human as possible. Inside the frame, there are 2 hidden secret compartments, which can be found by following the heart outwards. The 3 types of artificial intelligence and human relationships. At first glance, this piece may seem to portray an unrealistic future. And if it were to be realistic, it would be a scenario that other generations would have to contend to, perhaps in another era in the 2100s. However, this is not true. Human relationships with artificial already exist. Here are the 3 forms that exist and are improving with each day. Artificial intelligence relationships in the cloud. This is the type of relationship that many people in industrialized countries already have. It's the relationship with Amazon's Alexa, with Apple's Siri, with Google Go, and other similar interfaces. I characterize these as relationships because they have access to our emails, our schedules, shopping, and daily routines, knowing more than spouses and close friends would know. They also have voice interface, which makes it possible to interact with them as we interact with other humans. Young children today are the first generation to grow up with the ambiguous AI. As they interact with various forms of AI, they are also developing relationships with it. Amazon Alexa is a popular AI that kids grow up with, and they are using her to make homework shortcuts, having conversations with her interests, mostly unresponsive at this stage, inviting her to sleepover parties, and allow her to be with the arbitrator of disputes. In the adult realm, AI mental health and wellness use cases are being developed. Romantically, there are gamified digital sims that humans can have relationships that could be considered to the AI-human relationship in the movie Her. It is also possible to curate the personality of your romantic AI companion to be passive, kind, domineering, cruel, jealous, and or intellectual. An even more interesting relationship will derive from artificial intelligence that has been created with an individual's data, creating a digital AI clone of a real human. Deepak Chopra is the first public figure to digitally clone himself and make his AI virtual self available for others to interact with and seek guidance from. That's weird.
That is weird.
Okay.
That's not just weird. That is some serious next level futuristic fucked up shit. What are you thinking?
It's not even futuristic. It's now. It's happened already. He's done it. It's there. We're there. We're absolutely here. There's no future. This is the now. This is what we're doing. Yeah. So
exactly.
The last one, artificial intelligent relationships with humanoid robots. Robotics is rapidly growing field, which is experiencing tremendous innovation in manufacturing, medicine, agriculture, and the military, to name a few. It has also been quietly making advancements in replicating human bodies, in mimicking hair, skin, eyes, movement, and frame. Humanoid robots have been used as credible receptionists and are also purchased for companionship and sexual purposes. Note, there are a wide range of companion robots that do not have human-like form.
They had to do the sexual. Damn it. That's just...
it's been a while. They've been working on that. The documentary Hi AI does a wonderful job at observing human robot relations of all kinds without judgment or prejudice. Perhaps we may see Alexa take a humanoid form and be a nanny or companion that keeps a loved one company in the hospital. With 47% of Americans claiming they feel lonely, perhaps there is a robotic space to address this modern day epidemic of loneliness. It is likely that some people may even seek to marry their robot companions and include them in their will. In some countries, marrying robots may alleviate the gender gap.
What?
Ultimately, humanoid robots offer a new form of physical, in real life AI relationship, an option that previously didn't exist.
Didn't think I'd get to use that so fast. But
I know.
The hell?
But we're there. These robots exist. They're for sale. They're there. They're humanoid. You can have them made. They're expensive, but they respond. This is it. It's like the replacement of a real human being. Artificial. It's scary.
Yes.
Oops.
The last one is artificial intelligent relationships that are immersive in nature. A type of AI-human relationship that may have been difficult to anticipate is an immersive one that takes place in virtual reality. I am not referring to being a passive observer in VR, engaging with a form of AI avatar with a predetermined set of dialogue. Instead, I am referring to entering a virtual reality space where there are characters have a storyline that includes sets of emotional dispositions. And I guess they mean options, like choices. Characters who, with artificial intelligence, natural language processing, and cloud storage, are able to dynamically engage with you and directly acknowledge humans in their virtual space. It would be like meeting up with a human who remembers what was discussed in the previous conversations and picks up where previous conversations left off. These characters can be from fictional and non-fictional stories. With time, there will be copyrighted characters, and AI, medical, legal, romantic, therapy, relationship as a service. Because this takes place in virtual reality, the bounds of what physically exists do not apply, and this relationship can be experienced inside the bottom of a volcano, on top of a whale, in a balcony in a building, the best virtual neighborhood on one of Saturn's rings. Because these experiences are not realistic in the physical world, it does not mean that the memories, emotions, and thoughts derived from those environments will not be real or lasting. Humans can interact with other humans in that environment, and even with AI characters in that environment, who can acknowledge more than one human in a conversation. An example of this is Fable's Lucy. The founder of Lucy calls artificial intelligence as the next great art form. I'm getting scared.
Me too.
These are types of conversations my paintings in I Can Complete You hopes to bring about. Just as human relationships of all kinds help us grow, learn, and explore different sides of our relationships, artificial intelligence relationships have the possibility to do the same thing. This is not something that is part of an elusive future. It is very much in our present, which has not yet gained critical mass. Now is the right time to more openly discuss our new relationships with artificial intelligence and thoughtfully ascribe the values we wish to place on this new and growing part of our lives. And then there was a short video.
Oh, detailing the piece. Yeah.
Yeah. Although there was quite a few pictures in regards to it, but whoa, that was a mouthful. Are y'all scared yet? I'm scared.
I'm getting scared.
Very much so.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it's sad too that they're trying to, from what it sounds like, they do want us to turn towards these instead of turning towards other humans, and that could further isolate people who are already struggling with isolation issues.
The loneliness factor was the most striking for me because those statistics are climbing greatly, and people are going to be turning towards this. In the fact, how much are we already using it, Aimee? Alexa, Siri, Google Go, talk. Our phones talking back to us. If you have young children, who hasn't caught their young child talking to Alexa or Siri?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was a mind-opening to me to know that we're doing it already. Like it's that ingrained already.
Yeah,
exactly.
I was very reluctant. Aimee will relate to this because we both have kids on the autism spectrum. I was very reluctant for him to have any of these, talk to them assistant things, right? But when they started coming on the iPad as a de facto part of the software and stuff with Apple Siri, at least I got to learn with Apple Siri, who's not that competent compared to some of the others, but not as foolhardy either.
Exactly.
Him in his bubble does his thing with it. And so I was able to get him a Google Home Mini and let it continue. But and probably yourself too, Aimee, we're in the minority because they do what they do and they don't follow the links and go on tangents the way some other ones would. They do what they do.
Right. They do. Exactly. Matt just likes her to say silly things, or he loves to send me announcements. But yeah, mostly, I was concerned about that too when all that started. And when Matt was able to play with my phone and everything, he would use Siri and ask her about different things. And I was very concerned because
right.
Because he could get into something that he's not supposed to.
Right.
Yeah.
But this takes it to a whole nother level, level of scary, doesn't it, Claire? This is, oh my God, stuff.
It is oh my god stuff because the legal when tech advances past the legal repercussions that can be applied, it lets people to be able to misuse it
Absolutely.
and for bad things to happen before we're ready for it, so to speak. Because people don't necessarily want to stay in the boundaries of normal and behavior and of common sense, I guess I would say.
Right.
They're not. People tend to be a little unreasonable.
Exactly. There's always a boundary to push.
And legally, there is no way. We haven't even just. Let me put it in context. If you look at the whole issue of it, if we haven't been able to deal with straight out cyberbullying yet, just regular text, I'm coming at you, how are we going to deal with it in AI?
Exactly.
And it's more realistic. It's more invasive even.
Absolutely. We have a member message from Autistic Shill. Thank you so much. It says, can we talk about the UFOs? Dear aliens, please take me home with you. LOL. Also, I'm just joking since I've been watching reports on them. Thank you so much, Autistic Shill. Thank you so much for your support. Thank you.
Good one.
Thank you.
So, yeah, I mean, there's a history of this that's been coming along more and more, especially when it comes to the whole, robotic girlfriend, significant other kind of thing, right? We've had internet connected toys and whatnot and so on. But when you take it from a toy that just, provides a little extra other than, a bottle of hand pump cream and whatnot at the computer, I can see some people playing with that. But you're talking about putting an emotional replacement for a human being in their life. Holy shit, man. That ain't good.
No, that's not. Mipet.
Would this actually lower like rapes and things like that because they're doing it with an AI robot rather than going out and finding victims on the street? So it may be a good thing in some respects.
In the robot part, perhaps,
Yeah.
But in some of the other technologies that we're going to get to, no. But
I agree. Yeah.
Because
I'm not too sure about that.
Yeah,
not too sure about that because there's a lot of power play in that sort of. I don't want to say the R word.
I know you don't want to say the word.
And that's true because that is the main thing with that particular act. It is power, right? DK, you're absolutely right. And if you're using a replacement like just say a sex robot, right? You don't have that. You already have all the powers. It's not there. It's not going to be the same thing, and it may fall short into that need or that whatever that they have.
Well, unless it's your neighbor's sex doll.
Oh, then, maybe if you steal the sex robot. Wait, I got this. Wait, DK, I got it. I got the scenario. You steal someone's sex robot. Make a video of you doing the act to them and then send it to the stole person, and then maybe you got the power play there. Maybe that, But then we've got cyberbullying and all that other stuff going on too, yeah. But I see what you mean though. Trying to find a good reason for it. I don't want people to be lonely. I want them to be satisfied. I want them to please themselves. I've got no problem with sex robots. I don't. Using sex robots with other people against their will might be an issue for me, but not the robot.
Right.
Well, it might be a bit crap if you go to a swingers party and you end up with the electric one in the corner that no one's touched or cleaned out for 3 months.
That's true. You just put those keys in. You just put those keys in the bowl. You don't have any idea what you're going to end up, do you, DK? So, that's why they call it swinging and not predictable acts on the chart. They call it swinging for a reason. You don't know. Yeah, you don't know.
Swinging, batteries not included.
Oh God, I'm having nightmares over here. Don't mind me.
BYOB, bring your own batteries.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
Oh God.
It could. It has the potential, I would say, to eliminate sex offenders. You're right.
I would hope.
But it also could increase it if you can order
it
those.
Could also.
It could increase it because if you can order it by specification, who's going to put an age limit on those robots?
Yeah.
Oh, well,
That's
That's what I'm
there's also
thinking too.
there is also comes up with an idea, a potential here, where AI might be useful in what you were talking about earlier. You know, you're talking about possibly having, you know, say like AI psychoanalysts, and
Mhm.
if you feel like you've got a problem, but you don't feel like you can talk to a person, because they might, you know, it might be the problem you might have. It might be so horrific that if you talk to a person, you're going to be automatically put on a register, and the police will get informed. But this has a potential that you might be able to talk something out with an AI without the, you know, the
True.
potential of being reported. So
Yeah, but
there's a
for him,
potential possibility of a good thing out of it.
it could, except for like we're talking about Deepak Shakur, right? That he uses it out there as a type of you can talk to my therapy me without talking to me. He uses it like a clone of himself, like a dual, like there's more of him out there. Because you are actually, he is a therapist and he's using it as a clone. That would violate some of like if you reported that you were doing the R or murder or some kind of illegal act and you talk to that AI version of him and he still doesn't report it. I kind of get like my spidey legal senses going off that he's still in a hell of a lot of professional trouble or
Oh well,
not.
yeah, but that's
Yeah.
his version. I'm just talking
Mhm.
in
Yeah.
general.
In
In a
general.
future.
Yeah. Yeah. I would say it's probably
Something
yeah,
that's
ones that
Mhm.
aren't actual professionals. But like if you have to disclose something like that, do you actually want to not do you want to talk to a non-professional? Do you want to trust an AI version of like maybe some you know person that only went through 6th grade but like has great computer skills and now looks like this really calmly professional person and you're talking to them and they just are going to use that confession against you somewhere at some time? Like it's risky, don't you think? Like it's
or
risky.
any personal
Mhm.
information that you divulge to these people,
Mhm.
these AI things,
It gives people the
recordings.
opportunity to be anything they want and represent themselves any way they want and make you uncomfortable. I mean, make you comfortable enough to put yourself in extremely uncomfortable situations at a later date. Does that make sense?
Exactly.
Like,
Very.
it allows you to present yourself, like DK saying, to somebody that can talk to them, and there's no ramifications because it's not a real person. It's going to remember. They're not going to come at me later. Well, here's the situation. Just because it's AI doesn't mean that's not going to happen. As a matter of fact, because it's AI, what do you think the purpose of that person putting it out there is? I would say at this point of the game, it's more bad than good that more bad people are using AI to get you to disclose those things, to put them out there to harass you later, to make you comfortable enough to deal with it in an uncomfortable manner. And then it can be recorded and taped. You don't know if it's being, all of that.
Right.
Because there's no legal thing to protect you, DK, from anything you disclose to that
Well, it
fake,
kind of
fake
depends where you're
person.
using it. It depends. It depends how you're using it. Whether it's like a cloud AI, or it's you can actually download an AI
Mhm,
and keep it on your own personal computer, so
mhm.
it doesn't go.
Well,
You know, you can be
with all
disconnected from them there.
AI, you sign permissions to use it, and in most of the fine print that I have seen of all of them is the able to use your image and your statements. That's how AI grows and develops. That's what you're signing on, especially because it's cutting edge. How many of us have clicked that because it's cutting edge in the new thing and we don't even realize what we're giving away when we do it?
Well, it's like AI art. You can use cloud platforms to do AI art, or you
Mhm,
can actually download a version to your computer. So it's not
mhm,
actually connected to that AI. It's just using the model of the AI that it is in its current state. It won't. And if you add your images to it, it does not go onto their servers. There's no
mhm.
information being passed across.
Well, that's a
So
good one then. Yeah.
yeah. So what I'm saying, there is a potential where you can actually use AI
Mhm,
where it's not being shared. A lot of people are just using cloud AI because it's everyone's due to it. They're using it, they're getting links or seeing stuff on Facebook, and they're
mhm,
using the same apps that everybody else is using on their phone. Those phones are just like spreading information like dirty little viruses. So yeah, all your
mhm,
information is going out. Like you say, you click the terms and conditions,
mhm,
and you're practically signing away all access to all your phone's
mhm.
data, your email addresses, everything. And people just don't, they're all
Yeah.
worried about it, but they're quite happy to click the terms and conditions.
Right,
just
because
to play with an app.
the latest
Mhm.
thing, right? It came on my phone.
Yeah.
It must be safe. I don't think so,
Yeah.
people.
No,
I don't think
not
so.
even close.
Yeah, like
It's the opposite
yeah,
of
yeah,
that. And it's very true. And I hear that from a lot of the conspiracy theorists that we deal with in Gems and other places that, where, the government's watching me, the government's out to get me, but then they happily turn on location services
Yeah.
on their phones.
Well,
You know,
that's the funny thing, Aimee. It's not even a conspiracy. Anybody in the
No,
tech
anybody
industry
can
will
do it.
tell you that this is exactly what happens. And I know Apple have been trying
Exactly,
to
and
clean it
that's
up,
it.
but it's still not clean enough.
Right.
No.
Right.
No,
It
and
does
it's
exist
not.
now. The risk is definitely there, and it's been there, right, DK? Since
Yeah.
tech has been advancing in this direction, that
Yes.
that has always been there, and it's just expounding, and people are just using it more and more to harm others. But to keep
Well-
it positive, like DK said, there's positive, right? Therapy. What if we could? Somebody mentioned in the chat. What if we could make AI replicas of really good scientists that are working on things like cures and vaccines and things, so that we have more hands working 24/7 on something that are paid less to make it more they're always worried about the dollar here in America. You're like, we can't put all that into research. We can't put all that into that. If you use AI to do it, yes, you can, because, it would be cheaper.
Stretch a dollar a lot
Mhm.
further than we do right.
Right. Like, for every scientist, and I don't want the scientists to be fired. I want like 2 AIs for every scientist that's already there. I want it to increase the workflow, to increase the amount of hands and brains, even though it's the same brain, working on the project. I think that might be a benefit. Well,
Oh, absolutely. If you imagine Einstein was able to talk to a decent chat AI, some of his theories, it might come a lot quicker. They might even be he might have gravity solved. Who knows? But if it's just done the right way, there are potentials,
Right.
good things coming from it.
Exactly.
It's not all negative. There's
Right.
a lot of positive.
Exactly.
And not
The
to be
positive comes the
and-
negative.
And let's not be too unkind about the current state of affairs. We've been warned about it for the past 100 years.
Yes, Huxley. Anybody
Yeah.
can go back
Yeah.
to the 70s, DK, all the science fiction that we read, everybody said that the robots were taking over the world.
Yeah.
They warned us since before I was even
2001,
born. Right.
The Terminator.
Mhm.
I mean, come on, guys.
Yeah.
Skynet is the biggest one, that's the one that's
Yeah.
most easily recognized. And we have been talking about it. We have been warned about this.
Yeah,
But
I
yeah.
said this just the other day in a conversation or something. I was like, do these people not watch movies? What the hell is going on? Come on.
I know.
You don't just let the cat out of the bag like that. We always get the short end of the stick. Come on.
I think one thing that science fiction literature and the movies kind of like missed was the whole smartphone evolution, and the fact that everybody would have this small mini computer in their hands and just do ridiculous stuff with it. I think that's what was missing in all the predictions, because that's where the problem is coming in. Is just people have just got this thing and they can just I'll go onto TikTok, don't care about my security. That's gone now, and I can use it to create these filters and videos. And look at me, I'm a mouse now, or I'm a Yoda.
Yeah.
Exactly. Sorry, ambulance. But yeah, it's crazy. I know. And yeah, and TikTok is one of the biggest ones. And Facebook was always so bad. And people would go on there all the time. Snapchat's another one. Look at me. Look at my filters. Look at me. So,
Oh yeah.
yeah.
We've got where do you guys want to go next? We've got a few other really good ones here loaded up and ready.
Yeah, that was mild, the
Yeah.
one we started with, actually.
Yeah,
It actually
Yeah.
was.
should
And that was
probably-
scary enough.
You should probably dig deep into the revenge porn side of things.
Yeah, let's
before
go
you just
right for
ramble
the
on.
heart of
Exactly.
it. Yeah.
Exactly. So
Agreed,
let's
DK.
see.
Totally.
Oh, the horrifying new AI app, the
Yeah,
MIT
yeah.
Technology Review? That one,
Because that,
please.
like, here we are showing the slight warning there with the guy with the art trying to say, let's just think about the concept. Now we'll show you why we should have been thinking about it 10 years ago. Because this is bad. This one
This
is bad.
is
Yeah. Mhm.
very bad. Technology Review, MIT Technology Review, Artificial Intelligence. A horrifying new AI app swaps women into porn videos with a click. Deepfake researchers have long feared the day this would arrive. This was posted back in September of 2021, so everybody's been horrified by this already. And it says, as an update at the beginning of the article, it says, as of September 14th, the day after the story published, Y posted a new notice saying it is now unavailable. We will continue to monitor the site for more changes. Apparently, this site was taken down because
It was being used horrifically. Yes.
Absolutely. And there are many implications as far as this is concerned. So we're going to start out with this article here. It says, the website is eye-catching for its simplicity. Against a white backdrop, a giant blue button invites visitors to upload a picture of a face. Below the button, 4 AI-generated faces allow you to test the service. Above it, the tagline boldly proclaims the purpose. Turn anyone into a porn star by using deepfake technology to swap the person's face into an adult video. All of it requires is the picture and the push of a button. MIT Technology Review has chosen not to name the service, which we will call Y, or use any direct quotes and screenshots of its contents to avoid driving traffic to the site. It was discovered and brought to our attention by deepfake researcher Henry Adger, who has been tracking the evolution and rise of synthetic media online. For now, Y exists in relative obscurity, with a small user base actively giving the creator development feedback in online forums. But researchers have feared that an app like this would emerge, breaching an ethical line no other service has crossed before. From the beginning, deepfakes, or AI-generated synthetic media, have primarily been used to create pornographic representations of women, who often find this psychologically devastating. The original Reddit creator who popularized the technology face-swapped female celebrities' faces into porn videos. To this day, the research company Sensity AI estimates between 90 and 95% of all online deepfake videos are non-consensual porn, and around 90% of those feature women. As the technology has advanced, numerous easy-to-use no-code tools have also emerged, allowing users to strip the clothes off female bodies in images. Many of these services have since been forced offline, but the code still exists in open-source repositories and has continued to resurface in new forms. The latest such site received over 6.7 million visits in August, according to the researcher Genevieve O, who discovered it. It has yet to be taken offline. There have been other single photo face swapping apps like ZAO or Reface that place users into selected scenes from mainstream movies or pop videos. But as the first dedicated pornographic face swapping app, Y takes this to a new level. It's tailor-made to create pornographic images of people without their consent, says Adam Dodge, the founder of NTAB, a nonprofit that educates people about technology-enabled abuse. This makes it easier for the creators to improve the technology for this specific use case and entices people who otherwise wouldn't have thought about creating deepfake porn. Anytime you specialize like that, it creates a new corner of the internet that will draw in new users, Dodge says. Y is incredibly easy to use. Once a user uploads a photo of a face, the site opens up a library of porn videos. The vast majority feature women, though a small handful also feature men, mostly in gay porn. A user can then select any video to generate a preview of the face swapped result within seconds and pay to download the full version. The results are far from perfect. Many of the face swaps are obviously fake, with the faces shimmering and distorting as they turn different angles. But to a casual observer, some are subtle enough to pass, and the trajectory of deepfakes has already shown how quickly they can become indistinguishable from reality. Some experts argue that the quality of the deepfake also doesn't really matter because the psychological toll on victims can be the same either way. And many members of the public remain unaware that such technology exists. so even low-quality face swaps can be capable of fooling people. Y bills itself as a safe and responsible tool for exploring sexual fantasies. The language on the site encourages users to upload their own face, but nothing prevents them from uploading other people's faces, and comments on online forums suggest that users have already been doing just that. The consequences for women and girls targeted by such activity can be crushing. At a psychological level, these videos can feel as violating as revenge porn, real intimate videos filmed or released without consent. This kind of abuse, where people misrepresent your identity, name, reputation, and alter it in such violating ways, shatters you to the core, says Noelle Martin, an Australian activist who has been targeted by a deepfake porn campaign. To this day, I've never been successful fully in getting any of the images taken down. Forever, that will be out there, no matter what I do. And that's a quote from Noelle Martin, who is that Australian activist. And the repercussions can stay with victims for life. The images and videos are difficult to remove from the internet, and new material can be created at any time. It affects your interpersonal relations. It affects you with getting jobs. Every single job interview you ever go for, this might be brought up. Potential romantic relationships, Martin says, to this day, I've never been successful fully in getting any of the images taken down. Forever, that will be out there, no matter what I do. Sometimes it's even more complicated than revenge porn. Because the content is not real, women can doubt whether they deserve to feel traumatized and whether they should report it, says Dodge. We're going into new territory here. If somebody is wrestling with whether they're even really a victim, it impairs their ability to recover, he says. Non-consensual deepfake porn can also have economic and career impacts. Rana Ayub, an Indian journalist who became a victim of a deepfake porn campaign, received such intense online harassment in its aftermath that she had to minimize her online presence and thus the public profile required to do her work. Helen Mort, a UK-based poet and broadcaster who previously shared her story with MIT Technology Review, said she felt pressure to do the same after discovering that photos of her had been stolen from private social media accounts to create fake nudes. The revenge porn helpline funded by the UK government recently received a case from a teacher who lost her job after deepfake pornographic images of her were circulated on social media and brought to her school's attention, says Sophie Mortimer, who manages the service. It's getting worse, not better, Dodge says. More women are being targeted this way. Y's option to create deepfake gay porn, though limited, poses an additional threat to men in countries where homosexuality is criminalized, says Adger. This is the case in 71 jurisdictions globally, 11 of which punish the offense by death. Adger, who has discovered numerous deepfake porn apps in the last few years, says he has attempted to contact Y's hosting service and force it offline, but he's pessimistic about preventing similar tools from being created. Already another site has popped up that seems to be attempting the same thing. He thinks banning such content from social media platforms and perhaps even making the creation or consumption illegal would prove a more sustainable solution. That means that these websites are treated in the same way as dark web material, he says. Even if it gets driven underground, at least it puts that out of the eyes of everyday people. Y did not respond to multiple requests for comment at the press email listed on its site. The registration information associated with the domain is also blocked by the privacy service withheld for privacy. On August 17th, after MIT Technology Review made a third attempt to reach the creator, the site put up a notice on its homepage saying it's no longer available to new users. As of September 12th, the notice is still there.
So
Wow.
you're not going to shell out a link then?
Nope, no link to it. No, and I know. And it does look like that particular site that they were discussing that they wouldn't name or link to has been taken down as far as the update was concerned.
Yeah, but the genie's out the bottle now. It doesn't make any difference. It's gonna be somewhere. Someone's gonna have a copy of it. You know,
absolutely.
It's gonna be there.
They're gonna,
or someone will just do it again from scratch.
They will. Well, because like they said earlier in the article, that some of the repositories for open source software and things, it's already out there. You can get it and you can make your own. you won't need a website for that.
Right.
If you're smart enough and know what you're doing.
Mm-hmm. And in that case,
go.
those with the actual ill intent for marketing and all, like people are talking about, what about the criminal element of it, using it to promote things and things like that? Yeah, it's all possible. They have the code. They're going to do it. It's pretty valuable by now. But the point is that legislation is not caught up to it yet. They're just now going into regular revenge porn and regular cyberbullying, making stronger laws for this. They're not ready for this. They're not ready for this.
No.
Taking someone's actual image and doing that is, yeah.
Well, they should have been ready for it because cyberbullying has been going on, for 20 years. Yeah.
Yeah.
So just the fact that it's stepped up in a certain way should be irrelevant. They should already be on the case. It should be really easy.
It should be, but it's not. Like she said, you cannot get these images taken down once they're up there. You just can't, and that should be part of it. It should be, they should not be allowed to keep them once there's a court order or this or that or the other thing. It should all be, just having it should be an offense and a penalty. They have to actually put money on it. The only thing I see working is when people actually have to pay for the offense, either jail time or huge financial consequences. But when you have people like we do in the chat who actually think that this kind of behavior is just like the way it's been for 20 years and we should all just accept it. Well, maybe that's part of the problem.
Oh, no, I don't think we should accept it.
No, we shouldn't accept it. No, I'm sorry, but no, you don't have to accept it. You may acknowledge that it has been going on for that amount of time, but it's not. Well, and it's like that if we go back to some other things where people, oh, well, girls will be girls, boys will be boys. No.
No, that's the microaggressions we were talking about.
Exactly.
Absolutely unacceptable. When you say those kind of things, you think that you're just making light of it and you're trying to keep everything calm. And what you're doing is making an allowance for it. You're letting it breathe. You're letting it grow. You're letting it
diminishing its impact. Exactly.
You are.
Right. And you're enabling it, unfortunately. And that's something I'll bring up that I can generalize from learning about behavioral stuff with Mats. And you're basically saying it's okay. And it's an explicit, it's not explicit, but it's an implicit.
Right.
It's okay to do that. And
it's not. And the argument is, well, I haven't done anything. That doesn't matter. because there are innocents involved and underage involved, and it's an illegal thing. And I don't care if you've done it or not. You shouldn't be out here talking about it. I don't have to accept that you think that that's normal, because I'm sorry.
It's not.
No, when you're putting other people without consent at risk. No, it's not normal.
It's not your place.
So,
it's not your place to be doing that. It's, you're harming other people. Yeah, that's harming other people. And
I am not so politically correct that I'm going to say, I'm going to make you comfortable in a room while you tell me that that's the kind of stuff you're into. Hell to the no every time. No, do not talk about it. It is not out there to be expressed that that's a normal kind of thing and you should be allowed to spread that. No.
Exactly.
That's damaging the greater good. That's what I'm talking about, the greater good. That when you have to look at the bigger picture and there are minors involved, absolutely not. It's not normal. You should be in therapy, not out here talking about it. That's my opinion on it. Okay?
Exactly.
Yeah. Go get some therapy, zip it. People are pushing back at you on the platform for it. Yes, they are, because it's a no. Go get some therapy for it. I'm glad you haven't done anything yet. But just the fact that you have to come out here and say, but I haven't done anything yet. I've not gone to jail for it yet. Nobody has prosecuted me yet for it. You're saying those kind of things and you actually think it's okay?
Yeah.
I'm with you. I'm with you, Aimee.
Exactly. It's not okay. And it's, I'm all big for behavior and I'm all big for, manners and things like that. And that's just, I worked my ass off to get my kid to be able to function in society as best as we can, and just dismissal of certain behaviors, that frustrates me because I know how hard it is to work to help kids become productive members of society. And so when you dismiss it, even if it's just a small behavior, it just undercuts all of that work that, And we as a society should be working on treating each other with respect and dignity and not be putting out bullshit like this. Dick, you next.
Yeah, there's for me, there's two parts to this. Number one, we've had too many generations where you can't slap a young child in the side of the head and say, you dumb fuck, now go home. And we have people that run amok with no sense of real consequence. But more importantly, well, I don't know about more importantly, to be honest, but back in the early days of the internet and file sharing, you had Napster. Napster was the way we shared music, and the record companies hated it, and there was massive lawsuits against individual users for hundreds of thousands of dollars for downloading 60 songs, and it was a joke. So the entire society shift went to going after the websites and the services, not the users, right? As such, now, if you have some site that puts up deepfake porn and revenge porn and stuff, unless you have a concentrated effort to go at them in a legal way, nobody gives a rat's ass at the website to, say, oh, well, here's that user's IP number, go after them if it's a legal thing, because they don't have to, because that seemed to have gone away because of trying to sue people for $100,000 over a goddamn 20 songs or whatever. I think that was the joke part that made this part fuck up, because the users are no longer responsible for the content on a website that's user content driven. How does that even make sense?
It doesn't make sense. It doesn't at all. It just absolutely doesn't to me. It's just, so we've crippled ourselves in this sense to try to put consequences enough that will make a difference in things like this. We really haven't tried hard enough. DKG.
Yeah, there is a certain element to this consequences thing. I've always said the internet would be a completely different place if people had to log in with a very, very personal ID number, and it can only be tracked to you, like a social security number or something. And there are even laws being passed now where to watch porn in certain countries or states or whatever, you have to log in with like a social security number. Now, how many people are going to do that? How many people are going to be sitting there watching porn, having just entered in their security number or the social security number? They'd have to really, really, really want to watch porn. But on a whole general basis, if you had everything could be tracked back to you without then the internet would be completely different. This whole thing about people going on the internet and being totally anonymous, they can just do what the hell they want without the consequences. You can't do that in real life, but you can on the internet.
No. Exactly. Claire.
And here's the thing: if they actually think it cannot, like here's the reality of it. If you're actually out there thinking it cannot be traced back to you, in reality, if they really wanted to, you have no right to privacy out there. Everything is tracked. I'm following murder trials where we can get down to the second what somebody did just with their cell phone in their car because of their infotainment system or their OnSaw. Okay. And there's a group of cell phones that were all in the same place. That you have no right for privacy. It will get tracked down to you. What we need is legislation that once it is tracked down to them, we're allowed to do something about it. There's no more restrictions on how we got it or whatever. If you see a film of somebody actually beating somebody to death, you're allowed to use it because there was a crime committed. If we actually put some legislation that when things are against the law or you're causing harm to other people, that the consequences and the greater good should matter more than how we obtained it. We're so tied up in the red tape. Like, did you have 17 of this? Did you go to this service and that service and that service and that service? And that's my personal cell phone. You can't use that. Oh, well, no, but that person you just murdered had a right to their life, but you didn't really care about that, did you? When we actually make the greater good more important in this individualized, I have some damn rights shit, it'll be better because that's what's missing.
Far better.
That is what's missing. We used to care more about people, and I'm sorry, humanity sucks right now. And somebody has to start saying, "Do better, be better humans."
Right.
Yeah,
Well,
and
that's
I think
exactly.
I think a lot of people said if they followed, what I just said, that everybody has to log in as, an unidentifiable person, then we're getting to the stages of Big Brother and stuff like that. Yes, we are. But the problem is the internet. I don't know what the percentage is of good or bad on the internet. I would say it's like 10% good and 90% bad. And that's the problem. If everybody was like great humans on the internet, then it would be fine. But no, you're turning out to be complete dickheads.
Exactly.
And
That's a big
problem.
fucking if. Yeah.
Point in change is that here in the United States, a state actually put a law forward that if you're going to access porn, a Pornhub particular, from that state in an internet service in that state, you have to prove you're over 18. Because they didn't want minors exposed to it. Now, that's not a bad thing, okay? That's not a bad thing. And I'm all for porn. Don't get me wrong. You have a right to watch it, people. You do. Why do you not want anybody to know about it? Why are you so upset that we're trying to protect children? Because you got to register. Well, you're going to have to move out of Indiana, or was it Illinois? I forget which state it was. I think it was one of the I states. We just spoke about it, but it was a real legal fiasco because, first of all, Pornhub guarantees your anonymity, but they can't in that state anymore.
Oops. Well, don't most of them just like ask you if you're 18 or not, and you just go, no, I'm 18.
Yeah, that works, DK. That always works. But that's the problem because they're asking you to prove it. You have to actually prove it with a license or something. You got to prove it, just like Discord. Like you're safer. I have an NSFW completely adult Discord, and I'm happy about that. If those people are going through all those checks, you can't just say you're over 18. You got to prove it to get in there.
You got to prove it. Exactly.
Right. And I feel more comfortable about that because nobody's going to come on the backside and say, I exposed naked butt pictures to some 12-year-old. That ain't going to happen unless that person explicitly violated Discord rules. And that's a protection for me and for everybody else who uses Discord. Right.
Absolutely. So it's better if you have better controls over things like that, because not only does it protect the child trying to get in, it protects the owner of the Discord server, plus it protects the other people who might be accused later on of exposing things that shouldn't be to 12-year-olds. And that's the whole point. I mean, it does protect everybody. And I know there are people out there who are going to say, well, my freedoms. Well, if people would behave themselves, this is why we can't have nice things.
And this is why we can't have nice things. This is why we can't have good porn.
Well, this is why we can't. Exactly. This is why you can't have any pictures. Exactly.
Where's the romance, Aimee? Where's the romance in porn?
It depends.
I don't know. There's a couple of those pool guys that got great smiles and wink real good. There's a little romance there, DK. From what I've heard, not that I've seen anything.
Modern romance is going to depend on what type of Duracells you can afford for your robot. You better get the good ones.
and isn't there that one DK where the pizza guy shows up with the rose in his mouth? That could be romantic.
I've not found that one. You have to send me.
And if they're a honey,
but these days, romance is going to be hi, bitch, which hole and how many.
Oh, God. I will admit there's some porn out there like that. I guess you take your porn to the level that you want, but like there's all levels of it. Yeah, I'm not going to kink shame anybody for it. As long as you're consenting adults, those people are getting paid for it. It wasn't done against their will. Like, what the hell?
Oh my God. And we just got a super chat. So let me handle this, please. From our very own CF Beauty. Thank you so much. She says, for 10 American dollars, she says, thank you, ladies, for covering extremely difficult topics professionally with a heart. Thank you so much. We do try, and sometimes then I come along and say a doozy. Sorry.
I wasn't mentioned there.
For those not paying attention, CF Beauty is the Shills in the live chat, so pay attention.
Absolutely. Great support. So thank you very much. Exactly. And thank you for the support. We appreciate it.
Oh, here comes Fluffy. Yeah, just Streamlabs is late, but there's Fluffy with the announcement. There we go.
Oh, there you go.
Aw,
Yeah.
very good.
On that, Aimee, we should thank our mods for helping us out there because there are some people who just don't get it, and we really appreciate the support people from helping to keep that chat a little reasonable. Like, have your opinion, but be reasonable.
Yeah. Here's one for the
You can't
mods.
have nice things.
Exactly. I don't think I've ever asked anybody to leave before, but like I wasn't like.
Oh, I have.
Oh no.
Well,
Yeah,
I have.
Can I just bring up one last thing? One last thing on the AI thing.
Absolutely.
I mean, I sent in DM to Dick something that I did years and years ago, and it's very, very silly. I never put it out anywhere, but it's very, very silly, very, very, very rude, and very, very sexual and naughty. But the thing was, I just did it because I could. Right.
I didn't watch it. I'm just saying this right now. I did not watch it.
He didn't like it. He didn't watch it. He didn't laugh about it. He didn't.
Yeah, you can watch it. You can watch it later. It was just to kind of prove a point. I didn't want him to share it because it's never been shared anywhere. But the thing is, I think a lot of these people who are doing this are like clever people who just do it because they can, and they get a bit of a sick joke out of it. It's almost like Jurassic Park. They didn't even think whether they should do it. It's just whether they could.
It's true. Well, if you're using,
it gets abused.
It does, because if you're using the image of another person, right? If you're using your image or someone with permission's image, hell,
yeah, that's hilarious.
Right, yeah, that's hilarious. But you use your neighbor's teenage daughter's image to do it because you want to know what that's like. That's wrong.
Yeah.
Okay. Period.
That needs psychiatric help.
You use your ex-girlfriend because you want to put her in a scenario in one of those things that it's going to make her uncomfortable and hurt her, and then you put it out there. That's wrong.
That's wrong. Fucked up.
That's extremely wrong.
Because I think we should ask the chat. I believe that I own my image. Okay. And I believe that I would sue the pants off anybody trying to put my image in any of that stuff. And it would be difficult because there's no laws to protect me. I would have to string so many different laws and scenarios. I'd have to show intent and malice and first I'd have to prove that they did it. That's going to be hard enough because the porn app itself is not going to tell me who made it.
Exactly.
They're going to be protecting them because that's where their money is. They're not going to be protecting me, the victim. They're going to be protecting the person they got the dollar from.
It's like a lot of those things where the victim doesn't get quite the protection that they should.
Exactly. But I personally believe that I own my image and my voice. It's just like when we're out here, we give it away with permission. We put ourselves out here. It gets cropped for commentary. That's one thing. Okay. Right. But as far as putting it, I have control over that. I'm putting that out there. But did I put that video out there? No.
No, especially a fake, a deep fake video. No. No, what I say here today, if you want to do a critique on it, there is fair use. Go right ahead. Tell us what we said that was good or what was bad.
Oh, yeah.
Anything like that. Fine.
We post everything under Creative Commons. You're free to use our video as long as you're using it under fair use and not just simply reposting. That you must ask for.
That just happened to me. I got completely uploaded, my whole content. The whole damn thing.
We've had it happen too. And it baffles me when people do that. Like, were you on the show? No. Like, as if you have a guest on and they rebroadcast the episode a week later, who cares, right? You got your traction. It's good, right? No big deal. But
or if they obviously mirror it.
Yeah, that's different, right? But if it's
I prefer they talk to me about it and ask me I will agree. I will agree to mirror it, and I will agree to all of it because they are part of the show. I will agree to it. But if you do it behind the scenes and then you alter my intro and you alter the title and then you steal the art from my channel to make the thumbnail and then you put it up there, that kind of looks a little shady to me, don't you think?
That's a lot shady, and that's wrong.
Yeah,
that's stealing. Wrong. That's still theft, no matter how you look at it.
Yeah, I thought so.
I agree.
Again, we just cannot have nice things because there are far too many people out there who can do far too much stuff that just messes it up for everybody else
and
because they're selfish dicks.
Exactly. And besides all the passion I have for certain subjects, I'm quite a reasonable person. I didn't even go and do a strike, which YouTube told me, why aren't you? Because that was total. I'm like, no, like give them the 7 days. They pull it down themselves. I don't want to hurt their channel. You know, be reasonable. But you would not believe what I got back from them. You would have thought I was the anti whatever, everything, that the worst person on the planet. I'm like, all right, whatever.
Guilty conscience.
That's what I think. But still, I know I still have a channel and they don't. That's all. They must have done it to more people because I didn't do it to them. They must have done it to a lot of people. They don't have a channel anymore. So, I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. So should we do another one or should we move right on to our favorite person?
Well, it's after 8. We should go to Tate, don't you think?
Well, but there was the BBC article on revenge porn that does have, it's not so much an article as an unbelievable set of links to people who have done this kind of stuff or been victim to it.
Can we drop that?
Yeah, I think. Well, I think if we showed it quick before we move on, people would get the idea because it's just this long scroll of, poor ass people that shouldn't have been involved in it or people that got busted.
But it does bring it home as to how common it is. That one's from BBC in UK that agreeably has been fighting the issue a little longer with us and actually does have some legislation. Someone in the chat just mentioned that they're working on it right now. They're actually working on stronger legislation against it. They do have cyberbullying legislation. They do have misdeeds on the internet, crimes and stuff that you can really, for passing around pictures of minors or anybody without their permission. There's some serious consequences. So
there should be. And there was someone who was prosecuted for that not too long ago, and that it was a success. And it was a successful conviction they got. So, and revenge porn cases are doubling. So it's really,
that's a lot of people.
It is a lot of
these
people.
ones. Look at these ones here on screen. 2 girls, Telegram. Seeing a trend here?
Yep. Sending unwanted nudes must be standalone crime. And sending them too is not always very nice too. I will say that, when it comes to, but I'm so in love here, let's film ourselves. Please think twice, people. I mean, absolutely.
Marriages end in divorce pretty much 50% of the time. Let's just be realistic and take a step back, or if you're drunk, put the cameras away. Just be safe,
Exactly. So, be very careful. Just the best protection against having any of that being used in revenge porn is to not make it at all.
True.
That's the safest way to do it. But do not upload it to the cloud, please.
I do kind of feel for single adults trying to have sexual relationship in the world these days in regards to consent and all. You have to go out of your way to document your consent and do all this stuff. Maybe you should start documenting your imagery to just say, like, while you're having that consent conversation, that, to protect yourself, just say that you're not going to be using any images back and forth and, just have a conversation between the two of you, because
absolutely
it is going to come up more often than not. I do see people using it against each other, just like they are in the courts now with consent, and things like that. I do see when the laws don't catch up to the technology and the trend, it gets misused, gets abused against people.
Exactly. It does. And or sometimes cloud accounts get hacked, and even if nobody meant to spread it, it can still get out. So just be careful. Just be very careful. If you absolutely insist upon doing it, at least keep it on something that doesn't have cloud-based computing on it. Just keep it away from there. But the best protection against anything like that is always prevention. Just don't do it. That's one area we'll preach abstinence.
Well, one tip from me: if you ever are recording bedroom sex, always get the film crew to sign NDA agreements, especially the stuntman.
Yeah, and the butt extra.
all the way. Exactly.
Takes it to the next level. Oh my god.
I just want it lit right, you know.
Yeah, true.
Exactly.
That
Have a
lighting's
legal trail.
everything, DK. I agree with you. Lighting's everything. You know,
Yeah, it's nothing too hard.
Yeah,
I don't want that. Yeah.
2 inches, right?
They don't call him the best boy for nothing.
Exactly.
Oh
my god, that's brilliant.
So we go from penises that shouldn't be on camera to penises that shouldn't be on camera.
There you go.
Are you talking about
Exactly.
Andrew Tate?
Unfortunately.
That
That's a
damn
good
bald head.
segue. That's a
That
great segue.
Thank you. I thought that was awesome.
Kudos.
Exactly. Oh my god. Yes, we have our good old friend Andrew Tate.
Hmm.
Here,
Great
hold on
guy.
a second. I got one for that.
Exactly.
Gonna be
Maybe
keeping
more
that
than
one handy.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Exactly. Okay, so we have Andrew Tate, whose detention was extended until the 27th of February, so he's due to get out in a couple weeks. But that is an interesting case that we've covered before on here, and so we're just looking at some updates here.
Yeah. Did you want to start with the assets? Because I know that gets you giggling.
Yes, it does. I'm so sorry. And I know I'm supposed to be neutral and I'm supposed to behave
Fuck all
myself,
that. He's a piece of shit.
But he is a pile of shit. And some of the things that he's accused of doing is absolutely and utterly egregious and disgusting. And we'll just leave that at that. But yes, this is from the Sun. But these are Andrew Tate's frozen assets. Andrew Tate update as full list of 3.3 million pounds of worth of assets seized by cops is revealed, from designer watches to gold coins. Okay, so so it has been released.
Mhm.
The 36-year-old misogynist influencer is currently in jail in Romania after being accused of sex trafficking and rape. So, and
Wow.
it shows pictures of his Bugatti that he had.
Can I hit a button here, Amy, just because I've got the perfect button?
Yes, please.
Loser! You're a loser! Are you feeling sorry for yourself? Well, you should be, because you are dirt! You make me sick, you big baby!
It had to be.
It had to be.
That is
And-
awesome.
And then, so, yeah, and I think this guy is, he's worse than what a grub muffin would be. I'm going to have to come up with something we're going to have to come up with
Yes.
levels. First level is grub muffin. The next level is got to be something like a turd muffin.
No,
Yes.
ditch pig.
Yeah. What's a ditch pig?
It's a term we used to use for the chick that nobody should be dating in high school.
Oh, okay.
Ooh, okay.
Okay.
Mm.
So we've got that. We've got a ditch pig. I guess that could be, because it, since it's just a pig, it could be anybody.
Yeah.
But I do like turd muffin too. So that's the next
I do.
level. I think this guy's a absolute pig, and he was detained at the end of 2022 along with his brother Tristan, and they both recently lost a bid to be freed on bail. Tate's money and his assets are being chased down by Romanian organized crime busting cops, DIICOT, as part of the wide-ranging probe. Supercars, including a Rolls-Royce, an Aston Martin, and Lamborghini, have already been seized from his compound in Romania. DIICOT has also now listed other assets, including a collection of luxury watches worth £1 million. They include Hublot, Cartier, Patek Philippe, Breitling, and Rolex makes, they report. 2 gold bars and a gold coin with the image of a cobra snake and the inscription 1 ounce cash, 999.9 gold have also been seized. The cops also list a number of properties and land in Romania, including an 8 and a 4-bedroom house. Cash and Bitcoin in the name of Tate, his brother Tristan, and Tristan's partner Abigail Tyson, worth around £355,000, have also been seized.
Wow.
So, Romania's country's asset recovery and management agency said back in January that the total value of cars, watches, and other assets was just under $4 million US, or which is around 3.3 million pounds sterling. This comes as prosecutors reportedly want to take control of Tate's 5 million pound Bugatti Chiron per sport, along with 20 million pounds worth of property on the exclusive artificial island of Palm Jumeirah in Dubai. The car is regarded as one of the fastest, most expensive, and luxurious supercars in the world. It's the same one which he used to taunt eco-activist Greta Thunberg, in which he shared pictures of himself with a pizza on Twitter. Came just days before he was arrested. Sorry. Excuse me. Tate's mansion, which backs onto a golf course and has a view of the city, was reportedly bought in the summer of 2022. It has 6 bedrooms, a pool, a gym, and a home cinema covered in posters of James Bond. Romania's
whoa! I'm sorry.
I gotta take a break.
Posters of James Bond.
He's a teenager. What can I say?
We can say he likes his men shaken, not stirred.
Absolutely.
When they say posters, it makes it sound like a teenager's room that's been stuck with blue tack. I hope they were framed or something.
That's actually part of his problem.
Exactly.
You see, the girls get drawn to the bad boys, right, when they're teenagers. But then they realize that they'll wind up on cops or getting arrested or in sex dungeons. So they go to the normal guys. And then as they get older, these teenage antics of his wind up working less and less and less. So it becomes more and more extreme.
Exactly. And we'll just continue on with the story. It says Romania's National Agency for the Management of Seized Assets have now made requests to authorities in Dubai. Should Tate be convicted, it is believed they will be auctioned off. Meanwhile, a woman who worked as a webcam girl for Tate alleged that he strangled her until she passed out. The woman, who's now helping the prosecution, told the BBC she was approached completely out of the blue by Tate on Facebook. Tate said he wanted her to be his girlfriend and persuaded her to visit him in Romania and then to work as a webcam girl. She even described how she was pressured to get a tattoo of Tate's name on her arm.
Whoa.
Yeah. The Tates have now... Oh.
I got one more that I got to hit for this fucking guy.
Yeah, exactly.
She's not the only one, too. That was common. Yeah.
That was very common. The Tates have now hired as their lawyer Tina Glangian, who has represented disgraced stars Chris Brown, Mike Tyson, and Jussie Smollett.
What does that tell you? Right there.
Exactly.
What? Whoa.
Exactly.
Wow.
Exactly. So we'll see what happens. Andrew and Tristan Tate both deny all allegations against them. And they show pictures of his properties and
that's the
like
Bugatti
that,
Chiron right there that he's putting gas in.
Yep. And that's the one where he was talking about how it's a supercar and it has, all these cylinders and all this stuff. And, and this is what you get for not recycling your pizza boxes.
Wow. So that car's now up on eBay, is it? Auctioned off.
It will be if he's convicted, yes. And
look at this starting bid $1.
Look at this palatial home that this guy has afforded by A, kicking the shit out of people, and B, being a complete public piece of shit. How is that fucking society in the modern world? Wow.
Mm-hmm. This is what we can do this is how we can make our money in today's society. We can run a webcam business. We can also run a fake university where it actually looks like a cult. Um, it looks so much like a cult. It's really quite scary.
You know what?
It's-
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, it's okay. No, go ahead.
The delicious irony in that is they literally got to deny everything he's been promoting just to get away with, just to get off of this, just to actually defend himself in court about this. He has to deny all of it. Like, he's
All
not
of
the biggest damn D in the world. He's not this, that, and the other thing. He ain't doing all this
But
that he's
that's
been
his
promoting to
public
these guys.
persona.
No, that's what I mean. But he's it. Like, that's
Yeah.
it. That's the delicious irony of it, is that I want to watch that trial
As his
for the
defense.
as his defense, because he nearly did. He does. Because if they put Andrew Tate, as we knew Andrew Tate, in that courtroom, he ain't getting out. He's never leaving Romania. Think about it. If he's known as him, think of his persona, what he's known for, what he advocates, promotes, everything he's being accused of. The jury would slam dunk him. He'd never see daylight. He nearly has to go to court and eat humble pie. He has to deny every damn thing that he's promoting. And I can't wait for it, because I'll be the one sitting there every damn clip, putting it out there going, yo, you people paying for Andrew Tate? Here he is, sitting on the fence, being a hypocrite to save his skin. Is this what you want to support? Yeah, that's
This
real,
is your
man.
savior.
I'll be the one going, yeah, look at that real man, tucking tail and running to save his ass. Look at that one. I'll be right there. Yeah,
Absolutely.
It's just the delicious irony that I see in the future. I can't wait.
Well, well, that's exactly it.
And the humble pie will be available on Claire Bear's store in all flavors.
Yes,
exactly.
Cream.
Yes, it would be the flavor of crap, poop, shit, you name it. It'll be all there. Whatever. That's his humble pie. Exactly.
I was going to mention while you were going through that the absolute irony and the karma, that the fact that all his assets, especially his cars, are being sold off if he's convicted because of his aggressive attack on Greta Thunberg. And the irony of that is just incredible.
Just some sheer coincidence of that happening, and then her tweet after it was shown that his house was raided. And I know they had this plan before that those tweets happened, but it's funny that afterwards, her tweet in response to the news that Andrew Tate had been arrested, she said, that's what you get for not recycling your pizza box.
Yes, recycle your pizza box.
She was brilliant.
Oh, bless her.
She used it to her advantage quite well. Yeah,
and she did, and it was funny. It was cute. But that's how it works. It's like, but karma will is coming and biting him on the arse. Because can you imagine? He's already complained about the conditions in the jail. Well, it's not supposed to be a country club.
Oh, poor baby.
Exactly. It's not a fucking country club. It's a jail.
Is that dead hard? No bidet in the cell. Oh my!
I know,
God,
poor darling.
Andrew. Oh God,
poor darling.
Oh, God.
What is Romanian for? Oh, you got a pretty mouth.
Also, or we need a saying in Romanian about how just don't drop the soap.
This is true, and he has lost two appeals to get out of there. For bail, he's a flight risk, obviously. Even though they froze all his assets, he's still a flight risk, because he's got dual citizenship and all this other stuff. And
absolutely,
also, he lost that appeal, and then he lost the stay appeal. He's there till the end of this month, and he'll most likely, through the prosecutors, lose that one too, because they're still investigating. And they did actually find new evidence within the last few days against him. Somebody else came forward, so it's just going to extend. And as long as they're investigating, he's going to sit there. Which is another delicious irony. It's not like America where, you get due process. You got to get bailed out. They got to place a case. They got to indict you within a certain period of time. Not so much in Romania. They just keep asking for extensions. And he could be there for quite some time before he even gets indicted for trial.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly. And this from the guy who moved there because he thought he would be able to get away with whatever he had done elsewhere. And he would scoff at the Romanian courts. And well, guess what? Now he's going to go through the Romanian court.
Had he not peacocked after the 2016 and 2018 allegations fizzled out, okay, with the Romania was looking at him for things, had he not like pumped up that chest and peacocked over here and just used it as content for how great he was, he might not be sitting there right now.
Absolutely.
All these delicious ironies. It's just like, it's so good. It's just so
You know,
Here's another. I'm sorry.
Oh, no worries. You know, we all know Garfield from the comic strip has had a bit of a rough time in his retirement, but he just sent me a personal message for Andrew Tate that we could play on the show here. So here we go.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
I can tell you what's wrong with him. He went to Eastern Europe because he was going to be a manly man, and the Eastern Europeans are like manly men. And now he's in a Romanian prison hoping not to drop the soap.
Exactly. I know. You know what we need, Dick? I should have gotten you to get before we started the show was that clip of we're manly men, we're men in tights.
Oh,
that clip would have been perfect for this.
The lumberjacks.
But I will say, I don't think in Romanian jail, Bubba waits for you to drop the soap. He just throws you against the wall and says hello.
You know,
they're a little bit tougher there.
Yeah. Truth be told, like manly men don't really need to coerce and manipulate women to foreign countries to lock them in warehouses to do their bidding. That's not usually what manly men do, is it? That's more like, you know, cowardly, you know, like small peen energy men, like kind of do stuff like that.
Damn right.
Exactly. Men who already sing soprano before they even get kicked.
You mean like what 10-year-old, the immature ideas that 10-year-old boys have, and he never grew up or.
Well, I know. Hold on, no, because I haven't grown up, as you can all obviously tell. But still, you know, there are two sides to that coin. Let's be fair here.
Well, you know, but
you've matured in important ways.
Right.
You still kept your jokingness and all that, but you didn't become a complete and utter jerk to people who are not jerks.
Exactly.
And it's true. And to their point, it would be that, you know, when you have to acquire things at such a great lengths, like his importance is on the things and what he owns and the image that he impresses. When you need that to express how wonderful you are, to prove it, that's a serious issue, which to me, it looks like the exact opposite. I mean, without all of that, who is Andrew Tate?
Scum-sucking maggot that's got stuck under my shoe and should have been crushed as I walked in the door, but didn't.
Because these are the things he mentions to everybody that are important as to you acquire. You need people to feel small around you. You need because they can't feel equal, because then you're nothing. And that's
he's
volumes. Yeah,
he's the high school bully who never grew out of it.
Right? Exactly.
I have to have the biggest, fastest car, the biggest house. I smoke the best cigars. I wear that cheesy damn Japanese thing that is in poor taste. I don't care what you say, Andrew. You look like an idiot in it.
Totally.
You know, I mean,
and what the hell is that tattoo on his chest?
Yeah, I know. And I'm such a man's man, and you also just bow at my feet. Yeah.
The way he holds a cigar, like somebody who watches movies taught him how to do it. It's sad. It's not right.
Real men do not need what you call there's props.
Yeah.
Real men do not need props. They don't need the best chair, the best car, the best cigar. They do not need props to show who they are. They do not need endowment. They do not need to have any of that. They do not need things, because real men are men. And a man is a human being with a, you know what I mean? Like that is what matters.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I need all the help I can get.
Help is one thing. Making it your whole persona is another. Okay.
There's a thing with Andrew Tate where he grabbed onto everything that was wrong in society during like the late 80s and into the 90s. And he took like the Andrew Dice Clay road to life. And where everybody else was just like, yeah, that was funny in the time, but now it's old. And he didn't get it.
No.
He missed the memo.
That's right. Verillion says real men don't show Twitter their bed-sized tables. I agree, Verillion. This is true. This is true. They don't need to. They don't need to.
Exactly. And real men don't need to remind you constantly that they're quote unquote real men.
Mm-hmm.
That's
another telltale sign too. You know, someone as someone doth protest too much.
I like this. Sleet says, I wonder if he ever really had any friends. In fact, he says, and this is true, real men don't need sex robots.
Exactly. Right?
Well, they might be in a situation where they're like, you know, on an island.
No, a real man does not order toys online like blow up dolls and blah blah. They just accept the fact that they're sitting home alone, jump on the computer and yada yada blah blah blah. They end up in bed later. I mean, come on, you know.
He is in prison, and he's going to find out that it takes a real man to fuck another man.
Dude, yes, it is.
A lot of people, a lot of people are making jokes about how Andrew Tate is just going to be used like a pincushion in jail. That's
I don't
not
think
actually
they're going to
true.
find him. I don't think they're going to find him attractive. I think they're
no,
gonna
that's not actually true. What they're going to use, they're going to use him as a condom to fuck other men. That's how poorly he's going to be treated.
Oh, gross. Oh, God. That I didn't need in my head. I didn't need that in my head. Oh, my God. Wait. Tony says, but if I didn't have my thing, then I'd have to sit down to wait. No, I wasn't talking about your thing. I'm talking about things, Tony. You can have your thing. You're totally entitled. All real men are entitled to their thing, quote unquote, without the S. You may have it, you may use it, you whatever. It's yours. You don't have to.
You kind of leave it.
I'm talking about all those other things that you attach that you try to make that thing bigger. Apparently, mentally, you know what I mean? The
size of one's pickup truck is inversely proportional to their schlong.
I would like to say to Andrew Tate that I hope you enjoy your turn as a sheath of latex, because you're gonna fucking earn it, bitch.
Oh God, dude, you know it's in there again. Oh God.
I have a great comment here too from Mystery Man. He says, Mystery Man says, real men do not carry around a Gryffindor sword.
This is true.
That's very true.
They bought on Amazon while it was on sale.
A plastic one.
Yeah, exactly. A little toy one as he gallops around like he's on a play horse. With someone behind him with the coconuts, because you know he's part of that cult. You know, it's.
Andrew, are you listening?
He ran away. He buggered off and he chickened out, right?
I don't blame you, Tony. I'm not even reading that, but I don't blame you.
But that's funny, though. That's very good.
I got to say, I love our chat. You know, once they take the dogs out, put them on their leashes and go give them some kibble. I really like our chat. I really do.
I love it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh God!
What does Truck Nuts say about a man? I don't have any on my truck. That's what Jin Shu said. I've seen those. What? Why?
I forgot to hit the button for Autistic Shills shout out earlier, but here's your chat dance. Sorry.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, that's right. We'd forgotten that. Yes.
Yeah, that's the new thing on this show, right? Got to have chat dance. I forgot.
That's so misogynistic, though, Dick. Come on.
It's no, you know what? That's nothing compared to Andrew Tate. Let him chat dance all he wants. Like,
exactly.
No one does misogyny like Tate, man. Like,
but that was a recreation from 60s Star Trek. It's for the nerd and everybody. It's not supposed to be that way. Come on. You know?
I'm kind of with you on that, Dick. I didn't think it was misogynistic. It was very Trekky to me.
It was to me too. That's how I
come on. You know,
Exactly.
there's not a lot of blue dudes dancing in Star Trek. I can only do so
Yeah,
much.
cool.
You know?
I'm gonna find you one, and I dare you to use it.
Yeah,
I will.
yeah,
I
you're
can
watching-
find you. Yes, I
You gotta
shall.
go to the dark web for that.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
gosh. Do I dig?
Yeah.
Will you hold my hand? I don't want to go. DK. Like, I don't want to go. Oh, God. Oy. Mm,
I know. I
mhm.
know.
Yeah, but
So-
on the serious side, we have one more article you want to do, like just to take it like a little more home. It is great
Sure.
to make fun of Andrew Tate, but there are some serious issues
There are some
about what he's
serious-
doing. Well,
Yeah.
to our society in general and how we're dealing with things, because men like
Absolutely.
him are going forward.
Yeah.
So-
Absolutely. So I
Mhm.
think we should go to the next one that we had, the draw of the Manosphere. And
Mhm.
I've discussed this before with other people about how dangerous this
Mhm.
stuff is and how many people actually like this garbage and how many feel that some of the things that they say and do is perfectly a-okay. And
Yeah.
it's
Who was that guy, Amy, back in the day that we used to pick on, that misogynist pill piece of shit? What was his name?
Red pill
Oh,
philosophy.
No,
it's
even
the
more. It
other
was,
one.
yeah.
I know who you're talking about, and it's right there. And I
Validation
He-
boy.
Thank
That's
He
it.
was a
you.
Oh, there he is.
character
Yes,
who
he keep-
blamed the
Yeah. Yeah.
who blamed the scientists for the reason why he couldn't get laid.
That's right. It
Yeah.
was all science's part because biology. Well, yeah, because he's a wimp. He changed his name though,
Exactly.
didn't he? It's something else now. I just saw him recently. He keeps changing his name. Yeah.
Oh, he's still a donkey's ass, but
Oh yes, he is. Oh yes, he is. Yeah.
yes.
Do you want to read this one, or do you want me to read this one?
Did you want to read it? You
Hmm?
can if you want. Yeah.
Yeah. You sure? Yeah.
Yes, please.
Okay.
This is a good one.
The draw of the Manosphere: understanding Andrew Tate's appeal to lost men. I'm gonna try not to laugh as I get through this. Okay.
Okay.
Mega influencer, because it is serious. I realize
It
that.
is.
Mega influencer Andrew Tate is once again in the news as he battles charges of organized crime and human trafficking in Romania. Tate gained infamy last year after being banned on most major social media platforms for promoting a variety of aggressively misogynistic positions designed to stir controversy and draw attention to his brand. But while widespread public attention was drawn to Tate only recently, his reputation as a thought leader and top G in the online manosphere community has been long-standing. Indeed, Tate's ability to stoke and exploit the anxieties and grievances driving the manosphere are unprecedented and have played a key role in amassing millions of fans and hundreds of millions of dollars. The lure of the manosphere. The manosphere is an overlapping collection of online men support communities that have emerged as a response to feminism, female empowerment, and the alienating forces of neoliberalism. While this is widely understood, a lot less energy has been directed to understanding why and how men are attracted to these extreme communities in the first place. The manosphere's appeal can be perplexing, particularly for parents, teachers, or friends trying to make sense of how men in their lives suddenly adopt aggressively misogynistic views. But while the community's content presents deeply concerning perspectives on women, it also offers explanations for and solutions to a very real set of issues facing young men. A tranche of data illustrates these growing challenges. Men are rapidly falling behind in education, engagement, and outcomes. Rates of young male economic inactivity have risen considerably over the past 2 decades. The intimate relations of young men also appear to be in decline. One report suggests rates of sexual activity have dropped by nearly 10% since 2002. Suicide rates have risen significantly in men, particularly over the past decade. We're also facing a loneliness crisis, which is particularly concentrated in young people and men. The manosphere appeals to its audience because it speaks to the very real lives of young men under the above factors: romantic rejection, alienation, economic failure, loneliness, and a dim vision of the future. The major problem lies in its diagnosis of the case of male disenfranchisement, which fixates on the impacts of feminism. Here it contrasts the growing challenges faced by men with the increasing social, economic, and political success experienced by women. This zero-sum claim posits that female empowerment must necessarily equate to male disempowerment, and is evidenced through simplified and pseudoscientific theories of biology and socioeconomics. For many young men, their introduction to the manosphere begins not with hatred of women, but with a desire to dispel uncertainty about how the world around them works, and crucially, how relationships work. The foundations of the manosphere may not strictly center on misogyny, as is popularly imagined, but in young men's search for connection, truth, control, and community at a time when all are increasingly ill-defined. Profiteering off anxiety. Since its inception, the manosphere has been rife with predatory influencers seeking to profit off the anxieties unleashed by this ambiguity. Driven by a desire to reassert a romantic masculine aesthetic ideal in a world of social media unrealities, members of the manosphere often become willing consumers of a wide variety of products and services to solve their problems. These range from vitamin and gym supplements, personal coaching, self-help courses, and other subscription-based services. But the influencers aren't just capitalizing on a sense of crisis passively, they actively cultivate it, as our research shows. Figures like Tate, Canadian psychologist Jordan Peterson, and alpha strongman Elliot Hulse expend huge amounts of energy and capital fomenting a sense of crisis around these issues and positioning themselves at the center. No more clearly was this illustrated than in Tate's Hustlers University, which created a series of exclusive chat rooms promising men a solution to their fears and centered on Tate's personages and teachings. Such communities solidify the claims made by their leaders, creating feedback loops that contribute to a climate of tension and hysteria. Members are actively encouraged to ridicule those who aren't willing to acknowledge the feminist conspiracies that supposedly underpin the social and political world. Non-believers are seen as contemptible, weak, and ignorant, dismissed through an ever-growing newspeak lexicon as simps, cucks, and bettas. The community can also be mobilized to spread the message and brand of the influencer to the wider public, as demonstrated by Tate. Having successfully isolated and indoctrinated community members, influencers can then rely on them as persistent source of support and revenue, allowing them to further reinvest and continue this cycle of growth. This suggests a key way to push back on the wider effects of the manosphere is the targeted disruption of such feedback loops and the prevention of future ones emerging. Empathy, patience, and support. Tate and the manosphere didn't manifest spontaneously. They're symptoms of a deeper set of challenges young men are facing. These problems won't be addressed by simply deplatforming people like Tate. While this may often be necessary in the short term, savvier influencers will inevitably emerge, responding to the same entrenched issues and employing the tactics to greater effect while avoiding the mistakes of their predecessors. In confronting the manosphere, we need to understand and take seriously its appeal to lost men and centrally of influencers in this process. We can be as critical as we want to be, but we also need to understand what it provides for many: a community and place of belonging, a defined enemy, direction, certainty, solutions to deep and systemic issues, and perhaps most importantly, hope. We also need to avoid the knee-jerk stigmatism and dismissal of people who fall into the manosphere. Simply ostracizing tends only to entrench attitudes and reinforce the narratives of persecution spun by Tate and his ilk. Instead, we need to use empathy, tolerance, and patience to support men in ways that lead them away from these unpleasant burrows of the internet and make them feel connected with wider society.
There we go.
Hey, I'm all for
Exactly.
that. Mhm.
Exactly. And it seems like almost the same way to get somebody out of a cult. See, this is why I'll bring this up again. Mipet was on the show that we did with the cult. And, you know,
Oh, yeah. We did
yes,
a couple, actually, didn't we?
we did. We did a couple and they were good. Those were one of our best ones that we did. I love those. It was really interesting to learn and it was really eye-opening. And this sounds so cult-like to me. It really is. It's scary. They're
Yeah.
brainwashing them essentially.
Oh,
Cult.
bad free
Free will good.
Yes. Exactly.
Probably
Yeah.
one of the problems that they're facing is like in the early 2000s, the cost of real estate and housing doubled where I was. And you had people who were going to be able to afford to buy a house with 2 years of work history. And then all of a sudden that was taken away. And a lot of the blue collar factory jobs went away. And that hurt people's pride. All of a sudden, their expectations of what they were going to have growing up were changed. And rather than looking at, trade policy, banking regulation, and actually trying to find the reasons for all of this, they say, look over there, the woman, the problem, or the black person, the problem, or as they use the term cock, but you know what that is, right? That's a anti-Semitic term. These people over there, that's the problem. It's just the scapegoats.
Yeah. There always is one. Claire.
Yeah. That made me think. There is a real need to answer all of those situations that are there. But I would ask everybody, when you're confronting anybody that is actually an Andrew Tate supporter, ask them one simple question. What really has Andrew Tate done for you? The only thing you clearly can say is some cool guy with a lot of money knows your name because your name is on his check that you sent to him. Because what solution did he have to actually give you? Do you have more women in your life the way you're treating them? Do you have a good job acting like a complete ass like Andrew Tate? Did your boss think it's cool when you put down all the employees around you? I don't think so. So ask them, what really is Andrew Tate giving you? Except for that he is so much of a contrarian that you're just being part of it makes you feel better. But you're being part of the wrong side. He's not offering what you were actually looking for. He hasn't solved any of your problems. And he's literally told you that you'll never be like him. And he puts you down for it. He says if you don't have all the things that he has, you're not good enough and you should just be gone. Is that what you really want? Is that what you really think the solution is? Like, seriously.
Exactly.
Just ask them, what has Andrew Tate actually done for you?
Yeah. And why is his message so, why does it get out so much and why do people latch onto it?
Yeah. I mean, that's the part I don't get. The latching onto it. I mean, sure, you might be somebody who's a bit shy and a bit reserved, and you have a hard time speaking and, hey, blah, blah, would you like to get together again? Maybe that's not really your best angle, but you've got to be able to admit to yourself when you look in the mirror to shave that there's been moments where you've had a little chat with somebody at the grocery store and you could have, but you didn't. That doesn't mean it's society's fault. That's just who you are. You can work on that. You don't have to fall into this bullshit.
Right, because he's asking you to label people, take large chunks of humanity out of your way. You're only dealing with the ones who will subvert or do anything you say. That's a very small amount of people. He's actually narrowing your field for success. He's actually eliminating your possibilities, but they don't see it. They don't see it.
And
because How many of us here would actually have a conversation with them if they weren't actually toting the Andrew Tate line? If they weren't
that's
actually
exactly it.
saying
Weren't
that,
so offensive.
Mhm.
You know what? In the chat, you're getting quite a few people saying, oh, what about this person? What about this person? If you're not careful, this show is going to be the we bash misogynists into the fucking ground 2-hour show. You know?
And there's a problem with that, Dick, because
No, there's
misogyny.
not. There's not.
Okay.
Do what you want to do, like I say. But
Hey, I
you
don't
know,
want to be known as a man hater because I'm
there's that
absolutely
many
not.
of
I'm
them.
not.
Mhm.
No,
because-
but my point was there's that many channels doing it that everybody's got a suggestion.
Yeah,
right?
but in all defense with Aimee, we went misandry too, man. We actually called out Proudman, Dauber, the rest of them for man bashing.
Absolutely.
Amber Heard,
Absolutely.
I put her under my heel and squashed her like a bug. She wrong.
Damn right.
Yes.
She wrong. Okay, it's wrong is wrong. Misogyny, misandry, they're both wrong. I'm not a man hater. Absolutely, I'm not. I'm a man lover. I
No.
swear. I'm standing
I
on
do
that
too.
hill.
You
I'm
got
I
fighting.
love all
kids.
humanity,
Mhm.
and I don't. Yeah, exactly. And I love all humanity, and I don't bash men, and
Mm-mm.
the people who know me very well also know that as well.
Mhm.
I can vouch for that. I'm the producer in the back. I know that they're telling the truth. Trust me.
But is it difficult to deal with us if you don't come to us with equality and give us our fair due? Like, I do have a brain and I do have
Exactly.
opinion, and I'll
Treat
give
me
you
like I'm
yours.
a
Treat me like a damn human being, and I'll do the same to you. Treat me like anything else. Look the hell out.
Exactly.
It,
If you
it's kind
respect
of-
me, yes.
it's kind of like a feedback loop. Andrew Tate encourages you to be an asshole to everybody. And then you lose your job. You can't go out on dates because you have no money. And even if you do wind up going out on a date, you're an asshole to her. And she says, sorry, see you later. And all he's doing is teaching you how to be an asshole, which makes society reject you. And then you go to him where he encourages you to behave in a manner which causes society to reject you.
Right. And he's making you pay for it, which is why he's encouraging you to do it so that it's unsuccessful
That's
and
the
you keep
sick
having to
part.
pay for it. And because here's the thing.
Exactly.
Andrew Tate's not the one promoting his message the most. The people that are paying for the message, part of the deal of getting the lessons is that you have to promote and tweet him constantly.
Yes.
This was a money-making scheme from the start. He's not trying to help you people. He's making more of a fun of you than the woman that cheated on you. He's making more fun of you than the boss that didn't respect you or the job you didn't get. He is the one taking advantage of you and making you into an idiot. Not the rest of us. You need to look at it for what, and he's making you pay for it, which is
exactly.
even worse.
Exactly. As the rest of us go about and live our lives the best way we possibly can in these times, and to blame a whole subsection of society just because you are having problems, that is a you problem. I'm sorry, but you can't blame, people of a different color. You can't blame people who don't have a kickstand. You can't blame people who are just different from you, because that's not what your problem is. That's not where the problem lies. It's just the way society is. It sucks. Yes, if we all work together, we can all fix it. But we can't do that if you go out there and you say that a whole subsection of society is the issue.
That's right. The real issue is the fact. Yeah, the real issue is the fact that you have sat in front of OnlyFans so many times that your own hand goes to sleep and your dick goes limp every time you reach for your own zipper. The fact is, it's your own problem.
Yeah, but here's the thing. If you've got to do that to get by, fine. But don't be eliminating yourself from the possibilities that think I'm going to get better and you're going to meet somebody.
Yeah.
Like, I got no problem with people keeping themselves happy while they're alone or whatever. And I don't expect them to settle for anything less than somebody that's going to make them feel valued and together and and loved and cherished and all that other corny, whatever you want to say stuff. Because that's the real deal. You just want to be valued as a human being. And if they have to do that temporarily, I'm not even going to judge them. I'm going to go so far as that article saying you need empathy. I'm already there.
Yep.
Like, I feel for them. What's the first thing I said, Aimee, when we started talking about Andrew Tate? I said the number of
Yes.
suicides to the men that he's had in content is astronomical. The way he makes them
Astronomical.
feel like they will never be winners because they can't reach his limit is horrible. He's doing more damage than good. And I felt for them, even though if I walked into that room, they would have nothing nice to say about me. I'd be just some bee with a mouth, and they've got other purposes for me than to listen to me. And I know that.
Exactly.
But I still have
Including-
empathy and feel for what they might be going through because it's all wrong what's being done to them, even though they're wrong in
Absolutely.
even agreeing to it. What's being done to them is horrific. It's horrific.
Yes. Yes. And
And
what
I
he's
shared-
exploiting is really bad too. I mean,
Mhm.
it's just so horrible. Go ahead, Commander.
Can I share the key successful ingredient to any relationship that I learned but from my mom's parents who were married almost 70 years? It's respect.
Mm.
They both respected each other, and a friendship developed underneath that. And of course, they had kids and whatnot, but they respected and cared for each other, and respect was the foundation of their marriage.
Mhm. Exactly. Exactly. So, but yeah. Well, that
Well,
was an
hell.
interesting. Exactly.
Yeah. Well, hell.
Yes, exactly. Well, that was a very interesting show tonight. And I do want to thank everybody because that was really good. We had a lot of things to say about what's going on and the why. And there is, and this is why I did bring up Andrew Tate. Not only is
Mhm.
it, a lighthearted moment when, knowing he's in jail,
Mhm.
but there is a more serious harm happening with the followers of Andrew Tate. And as you can see there, suicide rates are rising. He's preaching a not so good message. He's doing,
Not so good. Not
Mhm.
so
it's bad.
good.
It's horrible. It's a horrible
It is.
message. And
It is.
it's just disgusting.
Straight from rectum to the screen.
Mhm.
Yes, it is. And it's a very bad message. And it's not something that we need in society right now. And yes, we do understand and we do recognize that there are men's issues that need to be addressed, and they need to be addressed very soon.
Mhm.
But this isn't the way to do it.
Mm-mm.
Having a cult of personality is never the way to go. And this guy just preaches nasty things, and
Yeah.
it's bad. It's really bad. DKG.
Yeah, I mean, I think society is to blame all round. I mean, you just look at the
Yes.
TV shows that we have going on here. You have, sex on a beach. People just like being thrown together. You have instant marriages. People just like never met. Well, we're going to get married. Or you have like MILF Hotel, where you have like older women going on into a hotel, and their sons are with them. And they're going to try to fuck each other.
Right. Swap.
You have those shows where it's like Naked Attraction, where people are just like, we're just going to check you out by your dick, and then we're just going to judge you on that. Everything, the whole society has got to that point where we're judging people in completely the wrong ways.
Right.
I mean, my mum
Exactly.
and dad met at a dance hall. Where
I
the
know.
fuck are those gone?
I know.
I know.
And I
I
don't want to.
know.
I don't want to take all away that freedom, but that speaks to the microaggressions that we all are accepting in the entertainment that we consume, in the way that we talk to others, in the conversations that we have with people that we allow to be permeated out there. That's what you're speaking on, DK. That we're allowing that by consuming it. It's popular. The reason it's on TV is people are watching it. People.
Yeah.
Exactly. They watch that.
And why are they
trash.
watching it? Because they don't think it is doing any harm. But if you actually look at what it's doing to society, like DK said, it is doing harm. And we all have to take responsibility for that. All of us.
Yes, we do. All of us. The
Because
entirety of society.
If they weren't making money on it, they wouldn't do it. Okay?
Exactly.
Exactly.
Reality
There's one-
shows suck.
There's one more issue I think that I would like to bring up. When you post the picture of you and your girlfriend or you and your boyfriend or whatever eating pizza at your favorite pizzeria on your social media. People don't realize that that person, everyone in the picture has a normal life, and that's a highlight. So they see all these happy pictures on social media, and then they assume that everyone's life is that exciting, blah, blah, blah. And they don't realize that everyone's life is mostly mundane with a few highlights like pizza with a friend or whatever.
All right, I tell you what, Commander. To counter that, next time I have an argument with my wife, I'll take some pictures and put that up on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
No, I mean, people feel inadequate as if they're not living their best life and everyone else is. That's what I mean.
Right.
What I say is, like, if you're happy home reading that book, watching that show, fine. You don't have to live up to anybody else's expectations of what it looks like on Instagram. Who the hell cares? Are you happy? Are you content? Because I can assure you that the person that's posted on Instagram what their best life is, isn't. That's a definite. Because why else are they out on Instagram showing everybody how great their life is?
They're full of shit.
They're probably using filters anyway. So,
right. So if you want to sit in your pajamas, right, DK, or like eat ice cream while you're watching TV, go for it. Nobody cares what it looks like, and you don't need to put it on Instagram. Be happy, people. I assure you, these people trying to convince you what the best life are, they're miserable mothers.
Exactly. And it's not so, yeah, no. And they just put that crap out to try to show off and say, look at me, I have the best thing. No.
Exactly.
No, who gives a shit? Do your own thing. And half of them are full of shit anyway. So they, we need a grub muffin, please.
Yes. For Instagram.
Exactly.
And yay to avatars and to hell with filters. Like
exactly. Exactly.
Hey, I'm not a grub muffin, I'm a full cake. Shut up.
Yeah. None of that half-ass stuff. I'm not showing you my face. I'm not putting my face out here with 17,000 filters just to get by. No. It's not fake. Avatars on fake.
You know what's funny? I made this avatar years ago before even filters was a thing. Even this avatar is 20 years old.
Nice. I have an avatar and I don't give a shit.
I love all the grumbumpers in the chat. That's so cool.
I know. I think you Rubbies. I love them. So my old message that has been going on since we came out with the grub muffin and some one of my odd sayings. Sorry, everybody. I've subjected everybody to those over the years. But what I used to tell my son is one of the stories is, being mean and rude and not very nice and not helping people. That's being a grub muffin. So I always tell everybody, I used to tell Matt, don't be a grub muffin. So
Can I just clue you all in on where the real force from the grub muffin comes? Because you've not seen Aimee when she's behind the scenes in her real mood. Let me show you how it really works.
In the dark of night, when the wolves and trolls circle the flock of unsuspecting globe defenders, there is only one sheep to call. Aimee the Destroyer.
Oh my God, I love it. That's right.
I love that sheep so much.
Thank you so much. I love that sheep. Look at Grubby.
I know.
Him swing.
Oh gosh. Yeah.
That's
my gosh, he's dancing too. In the future, Aimee, when Dick Dawson gets like almost murdered, you are a suspect, because something happened to that sheep. I saw you building the knife.
Exactly.
We love that sheep.
We do. We love the sheep.
I wonder, Dick, did you get rid of that armchair just so the future doesn't happen? Like, are you trying to get rid of it? Did you
when they were saying the grubby was dancing, that's a scrubby right there.
Yes, that's grubby.
Yeah. The pole dancing grubby hasn't been on the set in a while. We might have to do
something about that. That's cute. Look at him swing around. Yes, long story short, the grub muffin came around because it's just one of my odd Amyisms. I always have a strange name, and I used to come up with them a lot. I had to be creative because I couldn't swear so much.
Yes, it was your way of getting around swearing.
Yes, it was. It was one of my many ways to get around that. So anybody who's a scumbag or a piece of shit ended up being a grub muffin, and I've used it for years and years, and I used it while Matt was right from the time Matt was very small to pretty big. So that's where the grub muffin came from.
Yeah.
First time I heard the grub muffin was there was a dirty hippie, I think, talking about Bigfoot, and you said grub muffin.
Yes, that's what it was. This guy's a complete grub muffin, and he was too. He was gross.
I remember this. Yeah.
Yes, that was a good one. And he was really grubby. So he was a grub muffin. So that's when we came up with that, and I had to draw one, and it was part of one of Matt's social stories. So we knew it. And that's him today.
Soon as a plushie to those near you. Hopefully.
Absolutely. Hopefully soon. That would be great. It'll be fun.
Yeah. We might have to do a crowdfunding thing because they want us to pay up front, and you have to make a certain amount of them. And as such, it's just one of those so close but not financially feasible things yet. But, we'll figure it out, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. We're past now. I wonder if we should say goodnight or,
I think so.
Does anybody care?
So.
I got to feed Felix, but then I was thinking we could do like a 45-minute, half an hour pause after show bit because I've got nothing to do. Felix has told me flat out that he's doing his own thing and I'm not to bother him. So I'm free.
I should. It's 9 o'clock here. I should get Matt ready get things ready for school tomorrow. So
unfortunately, I start pretty early tomorrow morning with the trial, so I can't hang, Dick. You always have it late at night when they can't hang on the night.
Yeah, well, it's very rare that I have time to do it, so it's tough, right? It's tough.
Yeah. Well, I hope you have fun.
Good luck tomorrow, Claire. I think you are innocent. Don't worry. I think
Thank you, DK. It's nice to know somebody thinks I'm innocent because, like, most of them don't. It's good. Can I call you as a character witness? Thank you.
I don't think you want mine.
Yeah. Will you mute him before you say yes and no, please? Yeah, no, just kidding.
Exactly. Just make sure you only get the good parts.
Just Nick, don't tell Worley where the court is, okay? Don't let him show up.
Don't let him show up.
Yeah.
I hope you hear that, Dave.
That's funny.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, here before we do wrap ups and stuff, Acme has been by and the honesty meter has been upgraded. So let's put it on Andrew Tate over the internet, shall we? Not looking good.
Not looking good.
Oh, Andrew.
Oh dear.
Was there any doubt, really? Really?
Exactly. So yes, Andrew Tate is a complete grub muffin. Complete. Actually, yes. Thank you. And we'll have to come up with the next level, which is the turd muffin. So that'll be good.
I'll just make the grub muffin model brown.
And there you go. Just put a poop emoji
and put flies on it.
Yeah. Exactly. Well, I just want to say thank you very much, everybody in the chat, for coming. Thank you so much. This was a lot of fun. This was really good. And I'm glad we got to talk about these issues, both serious and we had some funny moments as well. and your interaction in the chat, as always, has been wonderful. So thank you so much for that. And I also want to thank everyone on the panel for coming as well, too. Thank you so much. We always have great conversations, and the different perspectives are always great. So thank you for that, too. And I just want to say good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Holy Spirit, activate.
Oh, no.
Holy
Oh,
Spirit,
no. Oh, no.
activate. Holy Spirit, activate. Activate. Activate.
Nice, dude. Nice.
It's over. Go home. Go.